Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie of Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Walmart off of Custer Road in Frisco, Texas. If you haven't already, please make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate that. But as you guys can see, I haven't been to this Walmart in quite a bit, and the last time I visited, they didn't really have a lot of plants. It looks like they have a couple of plants right over here at the very front of the store. We've got a Epipremnum Golden Pothos, as well as a Dracaena Janet Craig Compacta. This one is for $9.97, and you can see the roots are just popping out of the drainage holes. And then we have some Exotic Angels by Costa Farms hanging baskets. This one is a Staghorn Fern, really nice looking one actually. This one is for $19.98. Not a bad looking Staghorn Fern. And I've noticed that we have a bunch of Philodendron cordatum lemon limes. I already have one of these as well, but they are always gorgeous to look at. It looks like Costa Farms has released a bunch of these in hanging baskets, and that's really cool. I love the yellow leaves, and you know, with this plant, it definitely needs a lot of bright indirect light to maintain that yellow neon variegation. I love that it also is trailing. You can actually propagate from it. And then right next to it is its counterpart. This one is an Epipremnum neon or a neon pothos. Both are gorgeous plants, and I do love some of the neon plants. Now, plant foldies, if you guys are new to this channel, I call my viewers plant foldies. What do you guys think about the neon plants? Do you like the Philodendron cordatum lemon lime, or do you like the neon pothos? To me, they're both equally gorgeous. I give the Philodendron cordatum lemon lime just a little bit of an edge, just because I do love the leaf shape. And then we have some tulips right over here for $9.97. It's, you know, spring is just around the corner, and we have a bunch of bulb plants. And we do have some more tulips right over here. So now we're just gonna walk over and see what other plants they have. It looks like they have these plants within aisle. This one is a beautiful Dieffenbachia for $9.97. This is by Garden Expert. I do like the variegation of the Dieffenbachia. There looks to be a little bit of leaf damage, however, so that is a little bit sad. But with Dieffenbachia, they require a lot of bright indirect light. And then we have some self-watering planters right here. This one is a Calathea dotty. And what I like about the Calathea dotty is just it has a beautiful lavender tone to it. Now, Calatheas are a little bit finicky. You definitely want to make sure that you stay on top of the watering for Calathea. And this one I think is also a dotty. It just doesn't have nearly as much of the lavender color. This one is a Ficus lyrata. This is for $14.97 in a self-watering planter as well. Now, Ficus lyrata, they do get large in size. They require a lot of bright indirect light as well, since it is a ficus. And then right next to it is obviously an Aglaonema Siam Aurora, or a red Siam. Now, if you know that, if you've been watching my channel, you know I love aglaonemas. Definitely think aglaonemas are some of the easiest care plants. The only thing that can really kill it is if you're overwatering them. They tend to like to stay a little bit more dry. You want to wait till the water is completely, not the water, the soil is completely dry before you start watering an aglaonema. And right over here, we have a ZZ plant. This one is also for $14.97. ZZ plants are one of the easiest plants as well. They can tolerate really low light conditions, and they basically don't like to be watered. I remember seeing a local plant nursery have a sign that says do not water ZZ plant, and that is true. That's probably the easiest way to kill it. And then we have a cute little sago palm right over here. I remember having a sago palm and actually planting it outside growing up. It ended up growing really large, and it actually tolerated the very cold winters in Texas. So that's really cool. I do like that sago palm. That one's for $14.97. And then we have some more ZZ plants for $14.97. But it looks like they have some plants, and you can see that there are a bunch of planters as well. But we're gonna go ahead and see in the actual outdoor section if this Walmart has any plants. This Walmart, unfortunately, I visited about 3 to 4 times, doesn't really have the same type of selection of Costa Farms trending tropicals or just houseplants in general. So I'm not 100% sure if this Walmart is just not slated to get all of these plants. I did want to walk over here and show you guys in a bit the planters that they have, and I'll talk about that as well. So as always, thank you guys for always tuning into the channel and just the videos as well. I love the fact that people are really tuning in and enjoying my videos. And then right over here, it looks like we do have not that many plants, and these plants aren't looking too happy. But this is a Peperomia Golden for $4.97. It's an Exotic Angels Costa Farms release. There are a bunch of these peperomias, and I do love the variegation. Really easy to care for plant as well. Again, bright indirect light, and then just water whenever the soil is completely dry. And then we have a Schefflera Moon Drop right over here for $4.97. Nice looking Schefflera umbrella plant. I do like the subtle variegation as well that it has. I ended up actually buying one of these. I've been growing my Exotic Angels Costa Farms 3.5-inch planted plants as of late. It's just very tempting to purchase them because they're so readily available. And let's see what else they have available. So they have a couple of succulents right over here. I'm going to pull this hanging basket right here of a Fittonia hanging basket. You can see this Fittonia is actually blooming. I find that really interesting. So it looks like the plant is mature and happy. I haven't really seen a lot of Fittonias in bloom, so that's really cool. Now with Fittonias, they're a very thirsty plant, so just make sure you don't ever let the soil just dry out completely, because they can be super dramatic. And speaking of super dramatic, this is a really sad looking Philodendron cordatum. It's in a hanging basket. So at least with this particular Walmart, it looks like they didn't really get the assortment like all the other Walmarts I visited in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I really didn't see any of those Philodendron Pink Princess or any of those rare Alocasia by Grower's Bench. We do have some plants that need some tender love and care, like those Spathiphyllums or peace lilies. They do have a snake plant right here. This is for $14.97. And then we have a lemon meringue pothos. This is a Costa Farms Trending Tropicals. This one is for $19.98. This one's not a bad looking one. I would hope that somebody would buy this pothos soon, just because I feel like if it stays at this particular location, it's going to decline in its health. And again, I always go on a tangent about just, the amount of, steps to take to grow these plants. It took a while to grow the plants, and then the plastic containers, it just causes a lot of trash and whatnot. So I'm always a big, advocate for just making sure that these plants find a home. Like that Scindapsus trubrea Moonlight's beautiful. This one is a Monstera, Adansonii, not a bad looking one as well. This one's for $19.98. It's got some wide form leaves as well. And what else do we have here? We have a Dracaena Hawaii, not a bad looking one. This one's for $9.97 by Garden Expert. And we have some type of aloe vera plant right over here. So there's not a lot of selection with the plants here. And that's, again, not all big box stores are created equal. There are certain, big box stores that end up getting more of a certain plant or just get more plants in general. I'm not 100% sure if it's if it's based on sales and, whether these plants are replenished or is it very random. But I know that the last couple of times I visited this Walmart, they didn't really have a big selection. I did want to walk over here and show you guys these beautiful planters that Walmart has had. I would say their planters are not only beautiful, but they're also very cost effective. So I do like all of the terracotta planters they have right over here. They've got some more terracotta planters here. And then Better Homes and Gardens has really released some really nice looking modern contemporary type planters and hanging baskets and like plant stands. I do like the rattan one right over here. That would be a really good like boho type look for anybody who's wanting to look for that. And I do like the that they have also some woven woven basket. Sorry, I'm trying to get that out. And we have this right here. I do like this planter specifically, and I do love the pink pot. I think something like this would really do well with a pink plant, like a pink syngonium or even some type of aglonema would really work well with that. And I do like the price point. I was originally buying the white ones and using pink spray paint, but now you can just get them already pink. That one was for $8.48, and then this one is another planter right over here. Not as big of a fan of this one, just because I'm not a big fan of like the glaze, but nonetheless, they've got a lot of selections, and I'm just glad that they have quite a bit of styles to choose from. They've got some rattan looking plant stands. I do like that as well. I don't really have that in my home, but it could work for somebody. But I think the matte finish of the dark gray planters are really a nice touch. And then they also have some more different types of planters here. They've got shallow planters. They've got these pink ones. I do like this one. I just wish it was a matte finish versus something like shiny and ceramics. I'm not really a big fan of shiny planters, but it can work for different people's taste. I do like the pink color. I do like just pink planters in general. I think it really works for my aesthetic. And again, plant folies, I would love to be able to show you guys my house plant in my home at some point and give you guys a tour. It is coming. I just have to get things together for you guys once I share that. But I do like this. Like, this is a really nice looking planter. I love the texture, and I also love that it's gray, but it's also matte. Nice looking texture. That one could work for me, and it's a good price as well. I think these are in like the $5 range. And then they have some more gray and charcoal looking planters. Very nice looking. These actually could work on a lot of plants just because of the neutral color. Gray is a very nice looking planter, and it works for most spaces because it can pretty much blend in with anybody's furniture, their color palette and whatnot. And that is for $5.97 or $5.74. And then we have this one right over here. This one's for $8.48. This also can work with a lot of different types of plants. I would say lighter color plants, like maybe a Syngonium holly, some type of lighter looking plants. Dieffenbachias could really work as well. I mean, obviously Dieffenbachias get really large, but for the juvenile forms, that's really nice. And then I do like these planters as well. This one's for $6.74. So plant folies, let me know in the comments what planters I've shown so far that you like, or let me know in the live premiere chats. Again, for all of those that continue to tune in on the nightly basis, thank you so much for engaging with me during the live chats. I love talking to you guys. This one's actually a nice looking planter. So I learned a trick. So you can see that's a nice looking planter, but you can actually stack planters to create height for your plant. So like if you wanted to go put this in the ground, you can actually stack two of these, and look at that, you have like a little bit more height for your planters. I know I do that with my bigger plants and my bigger pots, just in case I didn't have like a plant stand to put them on. You can do it that way. I actually learned that trick by looking at another plant nursery where they basically had a bunch of like terracotta pots stacked up on each other, and it really gave some height for the plants. So you can see that they've got some greens and minty tones. I love this. I've actually been eyeing this for a while, that pink planter right over there. I would love to be able to like put a really nice looking aglaonema. We've got some square planters here, and I do like the wood finish at the bottom as one of the drainage saucers. That's really nice. And then we have some more plants here. I'm not a big fan of all of the glaze though, like the glazed textures. I really like solid looking colors. And obviously we have classic white planters. Now, if you're ever, curious to see what planters you should use, if you default to white planters, they will always match your like color scheme at your home. And it pretty much works with a lot of plants. I do think that plants are, enhanced, their appearance are enhanced depending on what type of planter they're in. Like I really like this hanging basket here. And now that I'm growing like hanging baskets in my home, this is something that I would entertain and probably put in my home, just because I really like the minimalistic look of the hanging basket. And then also the glaze is more matte. I am curious for all of my plant folies and the viewers that are watching this video. Have you bought any of these Better Homes and Gardens planters from Walmart? Like this is one that I've been looking for a while, looking at to actually put in my collection. I'm thinking of either repotting one of my monsteras in there, but as you can see, they've got a bunch of white planters. Really like that. And here's a hack. If you find, say, like a white planter like this and you want to get a different color, you can actually just use spray paint and spray paint it, and that works perfect. It's actually more cost effective than versus like having to find a planter that has a specific color. I do like these, the 4-inch planter with bamboo stand. Nice looking one. I'm actually going to use this for some of my exotic angel plants that I bought from Costa Farms, at 3.5-inch ones for $4.97. And then I do like this shallow planter as well. But as you can see, Walmart has really stepped up in terms of its style, but what I also like about their planters is it's not going to cost somebody an arm and a leg to be stylish. And then they have the larger planters here. I do like that these planters, they look like they're ceramic, but they're really just made out of plastic, so it's a lot lighter. And that's the thing, like for instance, this one looks really thick, looks like cement, but it's actually just plastic, and it works. And I do like the matte finish. I like how it's a neutral gray. Really like that a lot. It's super light, and you can plant a larger type plant in that. So Walmart, I would recommend as a place that you can get your planters. They've always been really good about just the prices, but even just the look of the planters have now been elevated this spring season. So I would recommend that. Let me know what you guys think, though, if you like Walmart planters. And then as you can see, I'm going to walk by here and just show you some of the plant accessories. I love Super Thrive. I actually buy mine on Amazon, but Super Thrive is my go-to plant supplement for just any of my plants. I use it for my propagations. I use it to acclimate plants. But now we flipped over here. So this is an actual local Target in the North Dallas area. I just find it interesting that they have foliage plants by Wild Interiors, and look at how nice and full these plants are. Look at how beautiful this is. This is a Philodendron cordatum right over here, and all of these foliage plants are $12, so it's not a bad price at all. And what I like is the matte finish on the gray planters. Like, look at how beautiful this peperomia is. Now with peperomias, again, they get a little bit tricky for me, so I don't really grow them. And then we have another Philodendron cordatum lemon lime. We've been seeing a lot of that. Costa Farms has actually been pushing a lot of that out. And then we have a bird's nest fern here. What I love about the bird's nest fern, though, is they actually size up and get really large as well. And obviously we have another peperomia right there. Now this is really cool. This is a Dieffenbachia sparkle. So we've seen some larger ones at Lowe's or Home Depot, but it's really interesting that Wild Interiors has that type Dieffenbachia available. And we've been looking at this. So I've been looking at these two specific plants, this Triadscanthia and this Syngonium right here at this specific Target. It looks like they're maintaining their health. It looks like the team that's taking care of it are either watering them, because they really haven't declined in health. And actually this Triadscanthia has put on some more new growth. We have another Epipremnum aureum, Enjoy, and then this is a really cool looking cactus, or actually not cactus, it's a jade plant. And again, by Wild Interiors. These are all for $12. So it's just really interesting to go to different places to see what other plants are available. And actually, I was shopping at an Asian store called 99 Ranch. Didn't realize that they would have foliage plants as well. So obviously we have some chrysanthemums here. And then they have like syngoniums. Like this syngonium is right here. And then they always have them, whenever you go to a grocery store to buy plants, they always have them wrapped up. And you can see this is a really cool Dracaena. It looks like there's two different types of Dracaena in this pot. And I believe these assorted foliage are $7.99, or actually $6.99. And this is another Kalanchoe. So Kalanchoe are just pretty much everywhere. These are about to bloom. I like the orange blooms. And then we have some purple lavender ones. But really interesting to find in an Asian grocery store called 99 Ranch that they have some plants available to purchase. And as you can see, that is a Dracaena Janet compacta. It's often seen. And then there's another place I wanted to show you. So I was actually shopping at Costco. And Costco has these living banquets for $26.99. So you have a bunch of different types of plants here. You've got, let me pull it down. You've got some Kalanchoe, we've got some cyclamen, we've got an anthurium, we've got some type of fern. So different types of plants in this planter. Would I say that their care tips are similar? No. So I just find it interesting that they have a bunch of that bunched up, but they have different varieties here. Like this one has like some mums. They've got a Peperomia obtusifolia and a beautiful Dieffenbachia camille. Or I actually, that's not a camille, that's another Dieffenbachia, and that Dieffenbachia actually gets really large. And I did want to pan over here and show you guys the different types of bulbs available at Costco. These are for $13.99, so you can get a lot of perennial plants. You can get some daylilies, just plants that have bulbs. I know that this place will all, Costco has a bunch of caladiums available, and then they have assorted citrus trees. So this one's for $26.99, but they're actually a nice size already for it. Now, if they had calamansi, or the Philippine lime, I would definitely buy it at Costco. I don't think they have that available, but you can see they have these trees as well for $29.99. And then I'm going to pan over here and show you guys a couple more of the bulbs available. So this is actually one of my favorite colocasia. This is a colocasia white lava. And look at how cute that is. Now, I'm curious to see if anybody's actually grown a colocasia indoors. But they have two bulbs here, these two white lava bulbs. I'm actually curious about maybe purchasing these bulbs and growing them and seeing if I can grow the colocasia indoors. But look at how beautiful that is. I love the white variegation and then just the lining of it. These are all for $13.99, so that is not bad. I'm actually curious to see how much it would cost to buy colocasia bulbs. And then you have 10 caladium bulbs here. So they always have this for by Longfield Gardens. I've actually bought bulbs from Costco, not Walmart, Costco before, and I was able to get a whole patio garden full of caladiums at one point. I might try to find that footage that I had from my older videos and show you guys that, maybe, you know, put a compilation of it. But you can see there are a bunch of caladium bulbs for $13.99, as well as these different types of dahlias. They've got 12 different types of dahlia bulbs available. So that's really cool. And then this is really cool too. So this one is an 18 pack bulbs. They have 4 different types of caladiums right over here. I am actually curious to see if anybody's grown caladium successfully indoors. Have they been able to grow and not go dormant? Please let me know in the comments if you've grown caladiums indoors. I do find them beautiful plants. I mean, they remind me of like alocasia as well. But yeah, for $13.99, that is not a bad price for a bunch of bulbs. And, you know, I'm curious to see if anybody is going to go to like Costco and actually buy them. It's not a bad price for $13.99, but I did want to go do a little quick commercial break and show you guys my daily origami paper folding skills. So this is how to make a paper crane. So for my plant foldies, you already know that I fold origami paper cranes every single day. I have been doing that for about 7 years now. And my goal is to actually fold 1 million paper cranes in my lifetime. So obviously, I wanted to show you guys the process of how to make a paper crane. My channel originally was an origami ASMR channel, but now I've transitioned it over to plants, and I just appreciate all of the viewership you guys give me. But you can see it's really easy to make an origami paper crane. I'm using 6-inch origami paper. And I typically get my origami paper from Amazon and just online sources. But you can see that it's super easy. If you guys want to learn how to make a paper crane, you can definitely check out my older videos. I've literally got hundreds of slow-mo tutorials. And shout out to my plant foldy viewer, Caroline, for sending me her first origami paper crane. It looks like she's going to try to make 1,000. And if you make 1,000 paper cranes, in Japan they call it senbasuru, and you are actually granted one wish. I know in Japan, typically in Hiroshima, they have a peace park where they send, you know, all over the world, they send origami paper cranes as an offering for peace. So there's a lot of symbolism behind it, and you can see that this is super easy to make. So my plant foldies or viewers that follow me on Instagram, feel free to send me a picture of your origami paper crane if you've learned how to make one. But as you can see, super simple, very, very easy, and voila. Now we're going to actually go to one of my favorite grocery stores to go plant shopping. This one specifically is at the Kroger off of Custer Road in Frisco, Texas. So this is actually the aftermath of seeing all of those indoor azaleas and just all of the roses and stuff. This is just a couple days back, and you can see this is an Azalea Simpsonii, or what they call an indoor azalea. But guys, look at this. Oh my gosh. Can you see this? Did you just see what I see? I thought it was like dirt or dust. This one's for $19.99, but I believe they're selling this for $6.99. This is a variegated sport indoor azalea. Like, look at the leaves here. Unless I am like not seeing it correctly, do you see how those leaves are actually variegated? I am actually shocked to find it. So I thought about getting indoor azalea from Nicholson Hardy, which is a local plant nursery in Dallas, but that is going to be my first azalea that I bring home for sure, just because of the sport variegation. And right over here we have some Phalaenopsis orchids. You know, you can't go to a grocery store and not see orchids. But to go back to the azalea, look at this. This is another indoor azalea. They're $19.99, but they're actually being sold for $6.99. So like, I'm gonna definitely buy these. I mean, plant foldies or my viewers watching right now, would you buy these azalea for $6.99? I don't think that is a bad price at all, and I'm super excited. And then we're gonna pan over here and show you guys all of these beautiful Philodendron orchids. You know, on Valentine's Eve, they had a bunch of azaleas and flowers, and it looks like they were wiped out. And this is really interesting. I love the ficus bonsai right over here. Really cute looking one. It looks like they're more readily available right now, and I just like it. These are considered the ginseng bonsai. I just like the bottom of it. And look at that planter here. This one is for $9.99. That's not a bad price actually for the planter itself and the bonsai. In my last video, I showed you guys how to make a jade bonsai from pre-bonsai material. And then to go back to just what plants they have left, it looks like they've sold through a lot of their Mason Farms plants. So Mason Farms is actually the supplier of this grocery store, Kroger. And you can see this is a Hoya carnosa right over here. This one's for $9.99. Not a bad price at all, considering, you know, Hoyas can be a little bit pricey here and there, but it's just really interesting. Actually, it's not $9.99, $10.99 for a Hoya carnosa. There's two of them right over here. Like, this is actually nice, and I like to see the new growth on it. I do like buying plants from Kroger just because you can find Hoya, like Hoya carrii right over here. This one is also for $10.99. Not a bad price at all. And I was actually able to find a variegated Hoya carrii, so we'll see if we'll find one at this Kroger location. And then right over here is a zebra plant. I've never grown a zebra plant. They look nice, but I've been told they're a little bit finicky and fussy. This one is for $13.99. I'm not a fan of the planter either, just a purple planter. That's just not for me, especially since there's some other colors they could have used. But, you know, if purple's your favorite color, that might work for you. And we have a mini white Photonia. This is by Costa Farms. And this one's for $6.99 in a matte finish planter. I actually think that is a good price for that. And then we have a Peperomia Rousseau for $9.99. I would love to be able to grow a peperomia, but for some reason I end up overwatering them and killing them, or they end up getting spider mites, one of the two. But you can see those rat tail looking things are actually a bloom. So this peperomia is quite happy growing so far. And let's see what else we have over here. We've got some type of palm right here by Mason Farms. So Mason Farms is actually a nursery that is located in New Mexico. So it's just really interesting how certain places source their plants from different areas. Most of the time you would assume it's like Florida, but we've got some suppliers, like the orchids are actually coming from California. And all of these plants, like this Peperomia Piccolo for $13.99, is coming from New Mexico. I do have a lot of plant foldies that are out in Canada, so shout out to my Canadian viewers. Thank you for always tuning in. You know who you are. You guys are always shopping. I mean, not shopping, but shopping alongside with me during the live premiere chats. It's just really interesting how there's a lot of Canadian nurseries that ship and actually source out plants to us in Dallas. So that's just really interesting. And then right over here is a sparkling Sarah Aglaonema. Love me some aglaonemas. This is a beautiful looking plant. I hope that somebody will end up buying this plant, although for $19.99 that is a little bit pricey. I feel like you can get a better deal somewhere else, but nonetheless, beautiful looking aglaonema. Again, with aglaonema, they can tolerate lower light conditions. Do not overwater them. Water when the soil is completely dry, and that is about it. It's super easy to grow. They are slower growing, so that's the only drawback about aglaonemas, but they are gorgeous. We've got a lemon button fern right over here. I think that's really cute. This is also by Mason Farms. This one is for $10.99. So I don't really have a lot of fern in my collection. Actually, I don't have a single fern in my houseplant collection, but plant folies, let me know if you do and what your care tips are. And then this is a gorgeous looking variegated Hoya carrii. And for the price, $13.99, that is not bad at all for a Hoya carrii. I would love to be able to see these leaves get larger. So if you actually watch my Plant Keeper Incorporated nursery tour, you can see that you can grow like Hoya carrii up a totem, or even a moss bowl, and the leaves will start to get really large. So I thought that was really interesting. If you haven't watched that video, check it out. And then right over here, we have an Epipremnum Enjoy. This is not a pearls and jade, although this is labeled pearls and jade. Yep, and this one's for $9.99. The reason why it's not a pearls and jade is the Enjoy Pothos has more distinct contrast between the white variegation and the green versus pearls and jade, where it's kind of like a speckling. So just FYI on that, it's just being mislabeled. But I do love the Enjoy Pothos. It's one of my favorites. And I haven't ever seen this. This is a pickle plant. So I'm going to assume this is some type of succulent type plant. Look at that. That's really cute. And then it's kind of fuzzy as well. But yeah, this one's for $9.99. So with Kroger groceries, it looks like they are due for another restock since all of the flowering plants, all of those plants have been sold through. They don't really have as much selection. I know that I was able to find a couple of trending tropicals, and I would say Kroger actually has the most inexpensive trending tropicals out there. And you know this is not a Grow Folds video unless you see some Hedera Helix, guys, or Hedera Helix, which is an English ivy. This one is a gold baby coin English ivy. Mine is actually doing very well. It hasn't lost leaves. It hasn't gotten spider mites. And yeah, I'm just really excited that I was able to grow that so far. This one's for $9.99. I ended up actually adding another Hedera Helix or English ivy in my collection. Stay tuned for the next video on that and you will see where I end up getting it. But I am slowly adding some more English ivy into my collection, and I do like this green version as well. I think this is a really nice one, and I like how the leaves are a little bit more rounder for this Hedera Helix. So that one's also for $9.99. Can't beat that price. It's not actually a bad price at all. I'm just not a fan of the purple planter that they have the plant growing in. Let's see what else we have here. We have like an asparagus fern. So there's just a bunch of like leftover plants that they have. And then these have been around for a while, but these are the Philodendron Pink Princess marbles. These are for $29.99 by Tropic Treasures. So Tropic Treasures is actually another type of nursery that's been sourcing out specifically to Kroger. I know that they had the Aglaonema Red King available. I just wish that some of these Philodendron Pink Princess would go ahead and go to reduced price or clearance, just because they're not selling through. And I would just hate for all of these plants to go to waste. Now, Kroger will reduce the prices down. I was able to get like a pothos plant for like $1.80 in a 6-inch planter. So maybe some of these Philodendron Pink Princess marbles will actually reduce in price just because they're not really moving along and not a lot of people are buying them. And I would just hate for them to go in the trash. Then here is another Enjoy Pothos right over here for $9.99. And then we have some crotons right here. This is a croton Petra. Gotta love you some croton Petras. The only thing about crotons is they are finicky plants. They need a lot of bright light, and you don't want to overwater them either, because if they are not happy with the watering conditions, they will literally drop all their leaves. So just, be mindful of that. Crotons are one of those plants that it's either you love them or you hate them. I'm actually neutral now just because my gold dust actually shedded all of its leaves and it's just not happy. So I'm going to steer away from croton for a while. I'm waiting for my other one that I imported from Indonesia to grow its leaves again, just because it dropped all of its leaves. Hopefully I could grow them outdoors, because crotons do best outdoors. And you can see we had a asparagus fern and an Aglaonema Mary Ann. So Aglaonema Mary Ann is an interesting one, and this one is for $13.99. Now Aglaonemas, I would say, are some of the easiest beginner plants. So if you are a new viewer to this channel and you want plants that you can grow easily, Aglaonema and pothos are easy. And again, if you're watching this or just joining in, all I'm asking is if you guys can hit the like button, and please make sure you guys should subscribe to the channel. I've noticed that I'm getting a lot of views, but a lot of the views are coming from people that are not subscribed. It's really beneficial for you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date during premieres. You'll get the notifications, because you won't get the notification typically if you are not subscribed. And I would just love for that support. I'd really appreciate it. I've been working really hard about trying to get you guys daily content. I mean, look at this Alocasia Black Velvet. you know, this is the kind of content I want to give you guys, and apparently you guys like the daily content, so make sure you are subscribing and hitting the like button. It really helps me out. Right over here we have an Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic blue. This one is for $16.98, so definitely Kroger has the most inexpensive cost, you know, trending tropicals. And I think that this peperomia is super cool. This is a peperomia raisinette. It doesn't it look like raisins, guys? Like, let me know what you think in the comments, in the live premiere chat. What do you think about this peperomia? But it really does look like raisins. Really like the texture of it. And then this one is also for $13.99. I would love to add this specific peperomia into my collection just because of the unique color and foliage texture. It really does look like raisins. So nice looking peperomia by Mason Farms. And then we have a Dracaena right over here. How much is this Dracaena? I mean, I see this Dracaena often, but I am curious to see this. I believe is $13.99, but look at that green on green variegation. Nice looking Dracaena. And again, Dracaenas can tolerate lower light conditions. I do feel like they're such an underrated plant. We don't really have a lot of other plants available though. We have a polka dot plant right here. These are actually tough. I would not recommend getting these polka dot plants, even though they are beautiful and their color is nice. They're just a little bit more finicky. And then right over here for $9.99 is a 6-inch jade pothos. I was actually able to find the same type of plant reduced for $1.80, a neon pothos. So that'll be another video that I will show you. And then obviously I want to show you guys again the Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah. Nice looking Aglaonema. I can't get enough about Aglaonema. So hopefully for all those that have been watching my channel, you guys are more open to like growing Aglaonema, because I think we need to go ahead and start a trend. And I want to pan over here again and just show you guys the Philodendron Marble Princess. But I am excited to finally get an indoor azalea. And not only is it an indoor azalea, but it is a sport variegated azalea. You can see some of the leaves do have some variegation. So I'm just curious. Now, for care tips for indoor azalea, you definitely want to put it in a bright, indirect light condition. They do not like hot weather, so you want to make sure that they're in a cool spot in your home, and you want to make sure that the water stays moist. You don't want to overwater them, but you also don't want to let them dry out completely, bone dry, because then you will start to lose leaves, and that's not good. But you can see that is pretty much the care tips I've researched and learned about. I do know that they also like acidic soil, so just really excited to be able to take this azalea home. Not only are some of the flowers variegated, but the actual leaves have sport variegation. Now, for anybody who's new, the term sport variegation means that it's just variegation that has randomly happened for the plant, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be stable either. But I would like to see if the azalea that I'm picking up will have stable variegation. Maybe I can propagate from it through cuttings and create some more azalea plants with that variegation. So we'll see, but you can see all of the beautiful Phalaenopsis orchids that are available. Now the pink, the like super hot pink one is food coloring that they put in some water for the Phalaenopsis orchids to just get dyed. But as you can see, super excited to be able to get this plant. $6.99 is not a bad price for this, especially for a variegated azalea. This Kroger is one of my favorite Krogers to shop for plants. They always have healthy plants, and I can tell that they do take care of their plants. So you can see that this one is actually going to be going home with me. So excited to finally get an indoor azalea. I was looking to see if I can get a tree form one, but you know what? I will be happy with this one as well. This one will be growing near a east facing window, and then also with a grow light just above it to give it that extra light. Because again, with flowering plants, especially with azalea, they can't take full sun. At least this one can't take full sun, but it does need enough light to photosynthesize, because when it's blooming, it takes a minute for the plant to really just produce those blooms. And then right over here, I had to go back inside actually. So I put that one azalea down, and I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and get this last azalea. There was only 3 of them, so I feel like I'm rescuing an azalea, but for $6.99, I'll have 2 different types of azalea. And so yeah, And then the last location we're going to is the HEB in McKinney, Texas. So this is another grocery store plant shopping video. I love this HEB. Now guys, don't forget to hit the like button and hit subscribe. If you've gotten this far, I would really appreciate the support. I'm just noticing that the engagement portion, we've got people viewing, but you guys aren't subscribed. And I would really love for you guys to stay up to date. So please make sure you're subscribing and also smashing the like button. According to my #1 cheerleader on the chats, Luke, make sure if you are hearing me talk and just do this video, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button. It really pushes my content out to more people that love plants, and our community will actually grow, our plant foley community. But I am gonna walk over here. What I like about HEB is that they do have like an outdoor section with plants and planters, supplies for plants. I'm just going to show you a couple of plants over here. I do like shopping at night and blogging at night just because there's not a lot of customers shopping, and it just feels less awkward. Now right over here are Texas bluebonnet seeds. This is really cool. So with HEB, it's very much a Texas focused grocery store, and these are for $3.50. The Texas bluebonnet is a Texas flower for anybody who does not know, state flower. And then we have some more peppers right over here for $3.50. I want to pat over here. So this is the plant, the soil that I'm actually thinking about getting, just because I've heard some really good reviews about the ocean forest. And then this one as well. I am thinking about getting this Happy Frog soil mix. I know that there's a couple of YouTubers and nurseries that use it, so we will see about that. But I did want to show you guys the specific soap, insecticidal soap that I use to make sure that I spray my new plants that I buy from big box stores. It's just a preventative care, but this insecticidal soap is actually best price at HEB. They're only for $6.49 versus buying it on Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, or Walmart. And you can see they've got some hanging baskets of flowers right over here. I'm just glad to see that there are more flowering plants available. We have some cyclamen right over here. I'm just actually happy to see that cyclamen are still in season, because typically they come out they're sold during the winter months, at least in Texas. And then right over here we have an Alberta spruce for clearance, $6. So these always give me like Christmas vibes. I definitely don't need that in my collection, but it'd be interesting to use that as like pre-bonsai to make like a Alberta spruce bonsai. And then we have some more plants right over here, more hanging baskets and just baskets of plants. And then these are actually different types of peppers that are grown. So like if you live in Texas, these are tabletop peppers. I'm sure that they're the dwarf form where you can actually grow them in planters. And do you guys see this? I've never seen Costa Farm exotic angel plants at HEB, but not only that, do you see the price tag? $3.98. So Walmart sells them for $4.97, and then like Home Depot sells them for like $5.48. So I would go and say that HEB has the most cost-effective plants for Costa Farms. Like here's an Ingrid Ivy right over here. Like I would not hesitate buying any Costa Farm exotic angel plants just because of the price. Can you believe $3.98? And in this Snow White waffle plant, I do love this Snow White waffle plant. Mine is starting to crisp up a little bit, so I don't know if it's just because there's not enough humidity. I would love to be able to grow a lush and full one, but I just hate that sometimes they start to brown up. And then this is a Dracaena White Jewel. Nice looking Dracaena White Jewel. I'm just really excited to see that they have exotic angels. Like this one right here is a China doll. So with a China doll, I've actually thought about getting a China doll. I like how delicate the leaves are, but I'm also afraid that it's spider mite prone. But what somebody, a local nursery said that they're not necessarily spider mite prone. So I might end up getting a China doll today. The same thing with a Galaxy False Aurelia. I love me some Aurelias. And if you see that the stems have variegation on them, that's really cool. Really like this a lot. And it's also a dark foliage plant, so that's an added bonus. So I've been into like yellow plants, neon plants, black plants, purple plants, any plants that are dark. I've been wanting to collect that. And then we obviously have a bunch of like majesty palms right over here. And then right over here, we have some more Croton petras. And these are for $3.98. Like I said, again, it is not a bad price at all for these houseplants, these exotic angel houseplants. So plant folies, let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is a really good price? Do you ever catch yourself buying all of the exotic angel 3.5 planters? Because there's just so many to pick from. Like today, I'm very interested in possibly buying a Dracaena White Jewel. The only Dracaena I have right now is a Dracaena Tornado, which is amazing. But the White Jewel looks really cool. But I might just end up saving my money to buy one for like, I think $10.99 at North Haven Gardens. They had some really good size ones in 6-inch planters, but the Dracaena White Jewel, beautiful variegation. And again, with Dracaenas, you don't have to you definitely don't want to overwater them, and they can tolerate lower light conditions. Dracaenas, again, are super underrated. I feel like Galaxy false Aurelias are also underrated houseplants, but they're really easy to grow. And what's really cool is as they mature, they start to develop a trunk and start to get woody. And then right over here, we have a Photonia, a red vein Photonia for $3.98. Not a bad price for exotic angels. I'm hoping that, you know, the people out in McKinney or shopping at the HEB store will buy a bunch of these exotic angels. Like that one's a Philodendron cordatum, and then we have some type of fern. But you can see right over here too, this is a Transcanthia or an inch plant for $3.98. I want to know, of all my plant folies or my viewers, who has the most exotic angel plants. I have counted 7 so far, but for $3.98, I might end up buying some more plants today. Like look at this Croton Mame for $3.98. I don't know why HEB actually has more like cheaper prices than even Walmart. Typically, when you think of big box store shopping, you would think Walmart has the most cost-effective pricing, but HEB definitely has a good selection of plants. I'm glad that they carry Costa Farms plants, but they also have their own brand called Max and Miles that specifically sources out the plants for HEB. But I just can't stop looking at the Dracaena White Jewel. Now, if they had like a Dracaena Urban Urchin, I would totally buy it. But this one's actually not a bad looking Philodendron cordatum right over here. Just looking at all of these exotic angels, it looks like they must have just unpacked it. And I like the fact that they took him out of the trays and they've got him lined up like this by style. I'm gonna definitely buy today a China doll. I want to see how that grows for me. And then I just really like how delicate the leaves look. And I'm also gonna buy a Galaxy false Aurelia. What's interesting is I don't know why they call them false. So is it not like a real Aurelia? I just find it interesting that certain plants just have interesting names. But look at how full this is at HEB off of McKinney, the McKinney, Texas. But yeah, look at this right here. I definitely want to get that. And then whenever you're selecting plants, you want to obviously look at the soil. I looked at the soil. I look at any pests underneath the leaves, if there's any yellowing or browning. And then most of all, I love looking for plants that have like new growth or like a new leaf unfurling, because then you know that the plant is actually established in this pot. I've seen some places where they sell plants in like a 3-inch planter, but if you pull it up, the plant barely has any roots. But I do appreciate Costa Farms. They usually have very established plants in their hanging baskets, in their exotic angels. Just Costa Farm plants are awesome, and I would love to be able to see their full operation someday out in Florida. I'm still waiting for those other aglaonemas, Costa Farms. So if you are from Costa Farms, please release some more aglaonemas. I'm looking forward to that. But I am so excited to see that this is for $3.98, and they even have more exotic angel plants available just inside the entrance of this HEB. You can see it's all about the same exotic angel plants. Like we've got some Croton right here, Croton petras. We've got another China doll right over here. I really do like the China doll plant. I've seen large ones and I think it's really cool. Not sure about the care tips of a China doll plant. So plant foldies or anybody watching the video right now, please leave in the comments or even a live premiere chat what care conditions, care tips would you have for a China doll plant. And then obviously we're going to be looking at this gorgeous Snow White waffle plant. The only disappointing thing about the Snow White waffle plant is it does typically start to crisp up with just little to minimal negligence. Like you have to stay on top of that. Same thing with like Hydra Helix or English Ivy. If you're not, inspecting it, watering it consistently, it could get some spider mites very quickly. But as you can see, there are some more plants here. There's a yucca that looks really nice, yucca cane, and then we have a Dracaena Massangiana right over here. But what's really cool is they have these huge 14-inch planters of Aglaonema Silver Bay. So when you think about that Aglaonema that you see in a self-watering planter at Walmart for like $14.98, look at how large it can get with just time and just tender love and care. I love Aglaonema Silver Bay. I love the silver leaves, and it's just a very easy plant to grow. And then right over here, we have some large ZZ plants in 14-inch planters as well. So both plants can tolerate lower light conditions. I find that really interesting as well. But if you give it lower light conditions, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to grow faster. They'll actually decline in how fast they grow. And sometimes, a plant like maybe this Aglaonema, even if it can tolerate lower light conditions, actually stress the plant out. So it may not grow as much unless you are actually putting them under a grow light. So just FYI on that. I do love the silver foliage of this Aglaonema Silver Bay. I hope all of you plant foldies have been able to get an Aglaonema. If you haven't, I would recommend an Aglaonema Silver Bay or an Aglaonema Red Siam to be your first starter plants for Aglaonema. I wanted to go inside now, so we look like inside there's some Lucky Bamboo, and then they have a bunch of like cute planters at HEB, and I'll have to hand it to HEB. They do have some cute planters, and typically their plant selection is full and impactful. Like right over here we have a Tradescantia Nanook. Now this is for $10 flat. I'm just curious to see if they're gonna actually reduce some of these prices. This is the last of all of the Tradescantia Nanooks available before Valentine's. So just really excited to be able to see more of those eventually. And then we have some more plants right here. So I didn't realize that this silver band Marantha was actually rare. I saw a YouTuber named Hakuna Plantada where he ended up just getting a silver band Marantha. In Canada, apparently this might be rare, but to me, you can see silver band Marantha pretty common at like grocery stores, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then we have another Philodendron cordatum right over here. I do like the look of this plant. This one is for $9.98. I'm not a fan of the planter though. Like I really just wish they would have had just a plain, smooth terracotta planter versus the texture. And then here's another Tradescantia right over here. It looks like they're still remaining pretty full and lush, so I like that a lot. Sometimes with Tradescantia, you have to really prune them back, just because if you don't, they end up getting leggy no matter how much light you give it. It's just the nature of the plant, so you just want to make sure you're maintaining it. And then right over here, we got Syngonium Milk Confetti. Really like that as well. I like how light the foliage of the leaves are, and obviously this one's going to need a little bit of water as well. A lot of these plants actually need a little bit of water. I wish I could just bottom water them, but it's just really cool to see that they still have some plants, not nearly as much as before Valentine's, and we shall see what other plants they get when they restock. But the one thing I really do like is the Philodendron Ring of Fire. They are also sourced out by Tropic Treasures, and I really like that a lot. Look at the variegation of this. This one is for, let me see, $19.98. So not a bad price at all. And then we have a Syngonium Neon Robusta. Really like that. But I also love the pink planter that they have. Look at how precious that is. I really like the matte finish about it. It's just a really good deal in terms of just what planters that Max and Miles, which is basically the supporter and sourcer of all of these plants to HEB. Really like that a lot. And you can see that this is a Ficus elastica taniki. And then we have a bunch of Tredscanthias right over here. I don't know specifically what this one is, but what I do know is I do love the variegation and the striping of this particular Tredscanthia. It's really cute. And then obviously we have another Syngonium, Neon Robusta. Really like that as well. Syngoniums are one of these plants that are just super underrated. I just wish more people would get into Syngoniums. It is one of my favorite plants. I have been dealing with like a spider mite situation with them, so I'm definitely having to like treat my plants. That's the ugly part about just growing plants in general indoors, is because of the houseplants. Pests. These pests don't have like a natural predator, so they can go pretty rampant. But this one is a Philodendron Pink Princess by Max and Miles, and I will say they have the best Philodendron Pink Princess available. And look at that price is not bad at all. So like if you have an HEB, you definitely want to check out your HEB, just because they sell quality Philodendron Pink Princess. They are priced fairly, and I believe I've gotten like 3 Philodendron Pink Princess since I've gone to HEB. But I did want to just pan over here. I know this video has multiple locations. Tomorrow's video will be different. I'm going to just focus particularly on like one big box store. But look at that half moon, guys, for Philodendron Pink Princess. Again, my plant foldies and viewers, I really appreciate you guys always taking the time to view my videos. I try my very best to give you daily videos each and every day. If you made it this far, please make sure you guys hit the like button. I really need that help. It really helps out the channel and the engagement, as well as making sure you guys are already subscribed to the channel. But I will be ending this video pretty soon, but I wanted to pan over a couple of these beautiful Philodendron Pink Princess. There's just tons of them, and these are for I think $24.98, which is not bad at all. I prefer these Philodendron Pink Princess versus the one at Kroger. The marble ones aren't as great anymore, and I think the Max and Miles ones are just as good, if not better. And yeah, look at that. Look at how beautiful that half moon Philodendron Pink Princess leaf is. Really like that. I might end up picking up another one, but as always, this is Richie at Growfolds. Thank you so much for watching my plant video. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, add me at Growfolds. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.